Welcome to Unanswered Archives. I'm your digital investigator, and today we're opening a file that has puzzled experts for decades. A device recovered from a 1987 estate sale that contains technology that simply should not exist. Before we begin, I want you to understand something. What you're about to hear challenges everything we know about technological development. Every detail has been verified, every timestamp confirmed. Yet the conclusions we've reached defy explanation. This is archive file number 1, the case that started it all. September 15, 1987, Margaret Thompson is cleaning out her late husband's electronics workshop in Palo Alto, California. Harold Thompson had been an engineer at a small semiconductor company that went bankrupt in 1985. 2 years after his sudden death from a heart attack, Margaret finally decides to sell his equipment. Among the items tagged for sale, oscilloscopes, circuit boards, hundreds of vacuum tubes, and something unusual. A small black box, roughly the size of a modern smartphone, with a dark screen and no visible buttons. No manufacturer label, no serial number, just a single word etched into the metal casing, prototype. The buyer was a local electronics hobbyist named David Chen. David paid $12 for the mysterious device, thinking it might be an early calculator or perhaps a testing instrument. He took it home, plugged it into a power adapter, and waited. Nothing happened for several minutes. Then the screen flickered to life. What David saw next would haunt him for the rest of his life. The device displayed a perfect recreation of what we now recognize as a modern smartphone interface. Icons for messaging, a camera function, weather updates, and something called a global network connection. This was 1987. The first commercial mobile phone had just been released that same year, weighing to pounds and capable only of voice calls. David immediately contacted the local university's computer science department. Within hours, 3 professors were examining the device in their laboratory. What they discovered violated every principle of technological development they understood. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, head of the electrical engineering department, later described the internal components as impossible. The circuit boards contained microprocessors that wouldn't be invented for another 15 years. The display technology matched nothing in their databases. Most disturbing of all, the device's memory banks contained over 4 gigabytes of storage space, when the most advanced computers of 1987 could barely handle 16 megabytes. But the real mystery lay in the software. The operating system was unlike anything they had encountered. It responded to touch commands with fluid precision. It connected to radio frequencies that, according to the Federal Communications Commission, were not allocated for civilian use until 1995. The weather application provided accurate forecasts for locations around the globe, updating in real time through some unknown data source. The camera function was perhaps the most unsettling feature. It captured images with a resolution and clarity that surpassed professional photography equipment costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. But more disturbing were the photographs already stored in the device's memory. Pictures of city skylines that wouldn't exist for decades. Images of people wearing clothing styles that hadn't been invented yet. Technology in use that was still in theoretical stages. One photograph, dated internally as taken on March 3, 1986, showed a busy street scene with electric vehicles, digital billboards, and pedestrians carrying devices identical to the one they were examining. The location metadata indicated San Francisco, but the San Francisco in the image looked nothing like the city in 1987. Dr. Mitchell's team spent 3 weeks analyzing every component, every line of code, every stored file. Their conclusion was unanimous and terrifying. This technology was at least 25 years ahead of anything that existed in 1987. Yet carbon dating of the components suggested they were manufactured in the early 1980s. The initial theory was military origin. Perhaps this was a classified project, a prototype developed in secret by defense contractors with access to advanced research. But inquiries to government agencies yielded nothing. No department claimed knowledge of the device. No contractor had records of its development. The second theory involved corporate espionage. Maybe this was stolen technology from a Japanese or European company working on next-generation devices. But investigations revealed that even the most advanced research laboratories in Tokyo, Berlin, and London were decades behind what this device contained. Dr. Mitchell contacted colleagues at MIT, Stanford, and Carnegie Mellon. Each institution examined detailed photographs and specifications of the device. Their responses were identical. This technology should not exist. Some suggested the device was an elaborate hoax, a modern invention disguised to look older. But radiocarbon dating of the materials, analysis of manufacturing techniques, and examination of component degradation patterns all confirmed the device's 1980s origin. Others proposed theoretical explanations. Reverse-engineered alien technology, time travel experiments gone wrong. Parallel universe artifacts somehow crossing into our reality. Each theory seemed more impossible than the last. The most disturbing possibility came from Dr. Richard Hayes, a theoretical physicist from Berkeley. He suggested that the device might be evidence of a suppressed technological revolution. Someone somewhere had developed advanced technology in the early 1980s and then vanished, leaving only this single prototype behind. In November 1987, 2 months after the initial discovery, David Chen received a phone call. The voice was electronically distorted, impossible to identify. The caller offered to purchase the device for $50,000, no questions asked. When David refused, strange things began happening. His home was broken into, but nothing was stolen. His mail was tampered with. His phone calls were monitored. Black cars appeared outside his house at all hours. David became convinced he was being watched, followed, investigated by unknown parties with unlimited resources. Dr. Mitchell faced similar pressure. Her laboratory was visited by men in suits claiming to represent various government agencies, but their credentials never checked out. They demanded access to all research data, all photographs, all documentation related to the device. When she refused, her university funding was suddenly threatened. The device itself began malfunctioning. Its screen would randomly display warning messages, security breach detected, unauthorized access prevented, return to authorized personnel immediately. The messages appeared in languages that didn't exist in any database. Most unsettling were the communication attempts. The device would spontaneously activate its networking functions, sending signals into space, trying to connect to something or someone. Radio telescopes at nearby observatories detected these transmissions, powerful bursts of digital information broadcast toward coordinates in deep space. Then, on December 7, 1987, exactly 3 months after David first activated the device, it shut down permanently. No amount of power, no technical expertise could bring it back to life. Its screen remained black, its circuits cold, as if it had received a remote termination command from its unknown creators. David Chen moved to Oregon and never spoke publicly about the device again. When contacted by researchers years later, he claimed to remember nothing about the entire incident. Dr. Mitchell transferred to a small college in Vermont, abandoning her research into advanced electronics. The device disappeared from the university laboratory in early 1988. Security cameras showed no evidence of theft. It simply vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, but the story didn't end there. Over the following decades, similar devices surfaced at estate sales, electronics recycling centers, and abandoned storage facilities across California. Each one contained the same impossible technology, the same advanced capabilities, the same mysterious origin. Each one eventually shut down permanently after exactly 3 months of operation. The pattern was consistent and disturbing. Every device appeared to be connected to some larger network, some coordinated system that monitored their usage and terminated their function when necessary. Someone or something was controlling these artifacts from a distance, ensuring their secrets remained protected. Today, archive file number 1 remains unsolved. The identity of the device's creators is unknown. Their purpose remains a mystery. Their current whereabouts are unconfirmed. But questions linger in the shadows of Silicon Valley. Did Harold Thompson stumble upon evidence of a secret technological civilization? Was he silenced for his discovery? And most disturbing of all, are they still watching, still monitoring? Still distributing their impossible devices to unsuspecting buyers? The archive remains open, the investigation continues. And somewhere in a workshop or laboratory hidden from public view, the next chapter of this mystery is being written. This has been Unanswered Archives. Some files are never meant to be closed.